What if the real reason your face looks more tired, less firm, and somehow older, has almost nothing to do with age itself? Most people are taught to think the answer is outside them. A better cream, a stronger serum, a more expensive treatment. But what if the deeper problem isn't what you're putting on your skin? And what's really been missing is what your body has not been getting from within. Because some of the most powerful beauty-supporting foods in the world are not trendy, not heavily advertised, and not even talked about enough. They've been quietly used across cultures for generations, and modern science is only now starting to explain why they may help support hydration, elasticity, skin structure, and that look people often describe as younger, even when they can't explain why. And here's the surprising part. One of the foods on this list was once used by empresses as a beauty ritual, and another works in a way that sounds almost like natural hyaluronic support from the inside. So before you assume this is just another skincare list, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may look at aging, food, and your own reflection in a completely different way. If you start looking closely at how the body actually ages, something interesting begins to appear. It's not just time passing, it's a gradual shift happening beneath the surface. Loss of hydration, breakdown of collagen, slower cellular renewal, and something most people never hear about, silent inflammation that quietly accelerates everything. And here's where things change. Because your skin is not separate from your body, it's a reflection of it. Every cell, every layer, every subtle change you notice in the mirror is connected to what your body is being built with, every single day. This means one powerful thing: you don't just treat your skin, you build it. And for centuries, long before modern skincare existed, different cultures relied on specific foods, not just to survive, but to maintain vitality, glow, and resilience over time. What's fascinating is that many of these foods contain compounds that modern science now recognizes as directly involved in skin structure, hydration, and protection. But most of them never became mainstream. They're simple, they're often overlooked, and that's exactly why they're powerful. So in this video, you're about to discover 7 foods that work with your body in a way that feels almost like a natural alternative to what people try to replicate artificially, supporting firmness, hydration, and long-term skin quality from the inside out. And if this kind of knowledge, simple, powerful, and often ignored, resonates with you, make sure to subscribe. Because here, we don't just talk about surface solutions, we explore what actually creates real change over time. Let's start with something most people walk past without ever noticing: watercress. It looks like just another leafy green. Small leaves, delicate stems, nothing visually impressive. And that's exactly why it's ignored. But nutritionally, it's one of the most concentrated plants you can eat. In fact, watercress has been ranked in some studies as one of the most nutrient-dense foods in the world, packed with vitamins A, C, and K, along with powerful antioxidants that directly support skin health. But here's what makes it different. It doesn't just nourish your body, it supports cellular renewal. Vitamin A, for example, plays a key role in how your skin regenerates. It helps the body produce new skin cells and maintain a smoother, more even texture over time. Vitamin C supports collagen-related processes, and antioxidants help protect against the kind of damage that slowly breaks down skin quality without you even noticing. So instead of trying to fix the surface, watercress works where the process actually begins, at the cellular level, and this connects to something deeper. Because aging is not just about losing something, it's about slowing down renewal. Your body is constantly replacing cells, constantly rebuilding. But over time, that process becomes less efficient unless it's supported. And that's exactly what foods like this help restore. Now here's the interesting part. Watercress has been used for centuries in traditional diets across Europe and parts of Asia, often associated with vitality and purification. Not because people understood the science, but because they observed the results, and the results were consistent. In practical terms, it's incredibly easy to use. Add it to salads, blend it into green juices, mix it with other greens. It has a slightly peppery taste, which actually enhances flavor rather than making meals boring. Simple, accessible, but rarely used. And that's the pattern you're starting to see. The most powerful things are often the most overlooked. Because when your body receives what it needs to renew itself, your skin doesn't just maintain, it rebuilds. Now let's move into something a little more familiar, but still deeply underestimated: hibiscus. Most people see it as just a tea, a pleasant flavor, maybe something relaxing at the end of the day. But in many traditional cultures, hibiscus has long been associated with skin vitality, circulation, and overall beauty from within. And there's a reason for that. Hibiscus is rich in natural plant compounds, including organic acids often compared to gentle, plant-based alpha-hydroxy acids. These compounds are known to support skin renewal processes, not in an aggressive way, but in a subtle, continuous way that aligns with how the body naturally regenerates itself. In simple terms, it helps your system not hold on to what it no longer needs, and encourages renewal. It also contains powerful antioxidants that help reduce oxidative stress, one of the main silent drivers behind premature aging, the kind that slowly breaks down collagen, affects skin tone, and contributes to that tired, uneven look over time. But here's where it becomes interesting. Unlike external treatments that try to force a visible effect from the outside, hibiscus works in a way that feels almost like a gentle tightening from within, not artificial, not sudden, but noticeable over time, especially when used consistently. That's why in some places, it's even referred to as a natural Botox plant, not because it freezes anything, but because it supports the conditions that help your skin stay smoother, more balanced, and naturally firm. And the best part is how simple it is to use. A daily hibiscus tea, warm or cold, integrated into your routine in a way that doesn't feel like effort, just a small ritual that compounds over time, because that's the pattern you're starting to see here, not intensity, not extremes, but small, consistent inputs that your body recognizes and responds to. And when your body responds, your skin reflects it. Now here's something most people have never even seen before. Tiger nuts. Despite the name, they're not actually nuts. They're small root vegetables, tiny tubers that have been used for thousands of years, dating all the way back to ancient Egypt. In fact, they were found in Egyptian tombs, which tells you something important. They weren't just food, they were valued. But somewhere along the way, modern diets forgot about them. And that's interesting, because nutritionally, tiger nuts are incredibly rich in what your body needs to maintain balance, especially when it comes to digestion, circulation, and yes, skin quality. They're high in fiber, particularly a type that supports gut health, and this is where things connect in a way most people don't expect. Your skin and your gut are deeply linked. When your digestive system is balanced, your body absorbs nutrients more efficiently, reduces internal stress, and minimizes inflammation, all of which directly influence how your skin looks and feels. When it's not, the opposite happens. That's why many skin issues don't start on the surface, they start deeper. Tiger nuts also contain healthy fats and vitamin E, which support skin protection and help maintain that soft, resilient texture associated with youthful skin. But the real power here is subtle. This is not the kind of food that gives you an instant visible change. It's the kind that helps remove what's in the way of your body functioning properly. And once your system starts working better, your skin begins to follow. In practical terms, tiger nuts can be eaten as a snack, soaked for easier digestion, or even turned into a plant-based milk, something traditionally consumed in Spain as horchata. Simple, natural, almost forgotten, and yet quietly powerful. Because sometimes, the biggest transformation doesn't come from adding something extreme. It comes from restoring what your body was always designed to use. Now this is where things start to shift in a more noticeable way. Tremella mushroom. At first glance, it doesn't look like much. A soft, almost translucent mushroom used for centuries in traditional Chinese medicine and cuisine. But behind that simple appearance, there's something incredibly powerful happening. Tremella has a unique ability that makes it stand out from almost anything else on this list. It helps your body retain moisture, and not just superficially but at a level that directly affects how your skin feels, looks, and ages over time. In modern skincare, you often hear about hyaluronic acid. It's known for its ability to hold water and keep the skin hydrated and plump. But what most people don't realize is that tremella works in a surprisingly similar way, from the inside. Some studies suggest that the polysaccharides found in tremella can hold significant amounts of water, helping support deep hydration in tissues, including the skin. And hydration changes everything. Because when skin is properly hydrated, fine lines appear softer, texture becomes smoother, and that natural glow people chase with products starts to show up on its own. But here's the deeper layer. Hydration is not just about water, it's about retention. Most people drink water, but their body doesn't hold on to it efficiently. And that's where compounds like the ones in tremella make a difference. They help your body use what it already has. This is why, in traditional Chinese culture, tremella has long been associated with beauty and longevity, not as a quick fix, but as something that supports the body's natural ability to stay nourished and balanced over time. And using it is simpler than it sounds. It can be added to soups, teas, or consumed as an extract. The key is consistency, allowing the body to gradually rebuild that internal hydration environment. Because when your skin is truly hydrated from within, you don't just look different, you feel different. And that's when people start to notice something they can't quite explain. Now, we move into something small, but surprisingly powerful. Black sesame seeds. At first glance, they don't seem like anything special. Just tiny seeds, often used as a topping. Easy to overlook, easy to ignore. But in many parts of Asia, especially in China and Japan, black sesame has been valued for centuries as a symbol of longevity, vitality, and internal nourishment. And when you look closer, it starts to make sense. Black sesame seeds are rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, and essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, and zinc, all of which play a role in maintaining the integrity of your skin over time. But what makes them different is how they work gradually. This isn't about a quick visible effect. This is about deep support. These nutrients help protect your cells from oxidative stress, the kind that slowly breaks down collagen, weakens elasticity, and accelerates the visible signs of aging. And here's something most people don't realize. Aging doesn't happen suddenly. It accumulates quietly, day after day, which means slowing it down isn't about doing something extreme once. It's about consistently supporting your body in small, intelligent ways. Black sesame fits perfectly into that idea. In traditional practices, it's often associated not just with skin, but with overall vitality, including hair, energy, and internal balance. It's seen as something that nourishes deeply, not just superficially. And from a modern perspective, that aligns with what we understand about nutrient density and long-term cellular protection. In practical terms, it's incredibly easy to use. Sprinkle it over meals, blend it into smoothies, add it to simple recipes. No complexity, no disruption to your routine, but over time, those small inputs begin to compound. Because when your cells are protected, your structure is preserved. And when your structure is preserved, aging doesn't stop, but it slows in a way that feels almost invisible. Until one day, you notice the difference, and so does everyone else. Now this is where things start to feel different. See buckthorn. It's not a fruit you see in supermarkets. Most people have never heard of it, but in places like Tibet, Mongolia, and parts of Russia, this small, bright orange berry has been used for generations as a powerful source of nourishment and recovery, and there's a reason it stands out. See, buckthorn contains something very rare in the plant world: omega-7 fatty acids. Most people are familiar with omega-3 and omega-6, but omega-7 plays a unique role, especially when it comes to skin. It helps support the natural lipid barrier, the layer responsible for keeping your skin hydrated, protected, and resilient. And when that barrier is strong, everything changes. Skin holds moisture better, it feels softer, it looks smoother, and that subtle elasticity, the ability of skin to bounce back, starts to return. Because aging, in many ways, is not just about wrinkles, it's about the loss of that natural resilience, that bounce, that softness, that quiet firmness, and see, buckthorn works right at that level. It doesn't just protect what you have, it helps restore what's been gradually lost. On top of that, it's also rich in antioxidants, vitamin C, and other compounds that support skin regeneration and protect against environmental stress, things like sun exposure, pollution, and daily oxidative damage. And here's what makes it even more interesting. In traditional medicine systems, sea buckthorn wasn't used as a beauty product. It was used for healing, recovery, and strengthening the body from within. The skin benefits were just a reflection of that deeper restoration. In practical terms, it can be consumed as an oil, juice, or supplement. And like everything we've seen so far, the key is not intensity, it's consistency. Because once your skin barrier begins to repair, the visible changes don't feel forced, they feel natural. And that's when something subtle but powerful happens. You don't just look healthier, you start to look restored. And now, something simple, almost too simple, cucumber. Most people see it as just water, something light, maybe even insignificant. It's often used in salads, or placed over the eyes in spa images, almost like a cliché. But that perception is exactly why it's underestimated. Because cucumber is not just about hydration in the way people usually think, it's about how your body holds and distributes water at a cellular level, and that directly affects how your skin looks. Your skin is largely made of water, and when hydration drops even slightly, the effects show up quickly. Fine lines become more visible, skin looks duller, elasticity feels reduced, not because something dramatic happened, but because the internal environment changed. Cucumber helps restore that environment. It's rich in water, yes, but also in compounds like silica, vitamin C, and antioxidants that support skin structure and hydration balance at the same time. And this combination matters, because hydration alone is not enough. Your body needs the right conditions to retain it. In many traditional diets, high water, mineral-rich foods like cucumber were consumed regularly, especially in warmer regions, where maintaining internal balance was essential, not as a beauty trend, but as part of daily life. And the skin benefits followed naturally. In practical terms, this is one of the easiest foods to include. Add it to meals, blend it into drinks, eat it fresh with simple combinations. No complexity, no preparation barriers. But here's the deeper insight. This is not about dramatic change. This is about restoring a baseline, because when your body is properly hydrated, everything else works better. Your skin doesn't struggle as much, it responds faster. It maintains itself more efficiently. And that's where real change begins. Not with something extreme, but with something your body recognizes instantly. Now at this point, you might be thinking, this all sounds powerful, but how do I actually use this in real life? Because knowing something is helpful is one thing, but turning it into a habit, that's where the real transformation happens. So let's simplify this. You don't need to use all 7 foods at once. You don't need a perfect routine. You just need a pattern your body can recognize and build on. Start with one. Choose the one that feels easiest to include in your current lifestyle. Maybe it's adding watercress to a salad or blending it into a juice. Maybe it's drinking hibiscus tea in the morning or evening, or simply sprinkling black sesame seeds on a meal you already eat. The key is not intensity, it's repetition, because your body doesn't respond to occasional effort. It responds to consistency. Then layer slowly. Once one habit feels natural, add another. For example, you could rotate between tremella and sea buckthorn a few times a week, instead of trying to consume everything daily. This keeps things simple, sustainable, and realistic. Think in rhythms, not rules. Some foods fit better daily, like watercress, hibiscus tea, or sesame seeds. Others can be used a few times per week, like tremella or sea buckthorn. And more unique ones, like pearl powder, can be used in small, consistent amounts as part of a long-term approach. Also pair intelligently. Many of these foods work even better together. For example, vitamin C-rich foods help support collagen-related processes, while healthy fats improve the absorption of certain nutrients. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Just aim for simple, balanced combinations. Another important point most people ignore. Timing matters less than consistency. Morning or night doesn't change much if you're not doing it regularly. So instead of focusing on the perfect time, focus on making it easy to repeat daily. And here's something subtle, but powerful. Make it enjoyable. Turn hibiscus tea into a ritual. Use watercress to add flavor, not just function. Mix sesame seeds into meals you already love. Because when something feels good, you come back to it, and that's when results begin. Because what you're building here is not a quick fix. You're creating an internal environment where your body can repair, hydrate, and maintain itself more efficiently over time. And when that environment becomes stable, your results become stable too. So don't think of this as a list. Think of it as a system. A simple, flexible system that supports your body every day. Without force, without extremes, just alignment. And over time, that alignment becomes visible. Now take a step back for a moment, and look at what you've just seen. None of these foods were created recently. None of them are trends. None of them rely on complexity. And yet, they all point to something most people have been ignoring. Your body already knows how to maintain itself. The problem is not that it's failing. The problem is that it's not being supported, because what we call aging is often just the visible result of deeper patterns. Lack of nutrients, chronic low-level inflammation, poor hydration at a cellular level, and a gradual loss of the building blocks your body depends on to repair itself. So people try to fix the surface. Creams, procedures, quick solutions, but the surface is not where the process begins. And that's the shift. Because when you start supporting your body from within, giving it structure, hydration, protection, and the ability to regenerate, something changes. Not instantly, not dramatically, but consistently. And consistency is what reshapes outcomes over time. Your skin becomes more stable, more resilient, more alive. And suddenly, it's not about looking younger. It's about no longer accelerating what was never meant to happen so fast. Because maybe your skin isn't aging as quickly as you think. Maybe it's just responding to what it's been given. Every single day, and when you change what you give it, you change what it reflects. So when you look in the mirror from now on, try to see something different. Not just lines, not just changes, but signals. Signals of what your body has been receiving or missing. Because nothing you saw here is extreme. Nothing is out of reach. And none of it depends on chasing something artificial. This was always available to you, just not presented this way. And maybe that's the real shift. Not trying to fight aging, but finally understanding how to support your body in a way that changes how aging happens. Now I'm curious, which of these surprised you the most? Was it the mushroom, the seeds, or the pearl powder? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video helped you see things differently, take a second to like and subscribe. Because here, we go beyond surface solutions and explore what actually creates lasting change. And remember, what you give your body today is what your future reflects.